What does this strange name, Neuro Linguistic Programming, mean? Keep watching. This is Life Mastery Gym, and I'm Damon, and I teach people just like you cutting-edge NLP processes and techniques so that you can master your life and take charge of your destiny. So if that sounds good, make sure you click that subscribe button right down here so you can get these videos on a regular basis. So either you're new to NLP and you're still wondering, what does this mean? What is Neuro-Linguistic Programming? Or you are an NLP practitioner and somebody has asked you, what is this NLP stuff that you're practicing? And you've tried to explain it and it just doesn't quite come across. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a much better way to explain it and a much better way to understand it. And this is just one of 3 videos. I'm going to take each letter of NLP and break it down in a video, giving each letter its full attention. So I've had a lot of experience with the N in NLP, and I've had a lot of experience with the L and the P as well. And so those will come out as future videos. I am always interested in hearing from you if you have an explanation of what the neuro and neuro-linguistic programming means to you, or you feel like you have a good explanation, definition, or you've heard a good explanation or definition. Please put it in the comments below. There are many ways to define NLP and to explain NLP, and I'm always looking for good ones. So please share, and of course, if you have any questions as well, put that in the comments below. I will respond to you. So neuro has to do with the nerves, and in this case, we talk first about the 5 senses that bring in information. You see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, and that gets into your neurology. It's information. So that information goes into your neurology, and you find a way to manage it. You find a way to represent it internally. In order to do that, you have to generalize, distort, and delete information to do this. Now, I've done many videos on defining NLP, and this is yet another one, but more of a broken down one. So I'm not going to go into generalization, distortion, and deletion. However, if you are an NLPer or you want to make NLP a practice, it is very important that you understand those 3 parts, because that is what all NLP is based on. It is what all NLP, real NLP processes are based on. So you want to learn those, and it might take you a few years to really grasp what those are, but it's totally worth it, because when you crack that code, it will change everything and you will use NLP so much more effectively. So you're having all of this information come at you at once, all the time. It's going through your 5 senses, it's going into your neurology, you're finding ways to manage it, you're representing it within yourself, representing it within yourself, but most of it is unconscious. The organization of it is often a bit haphazard. So what NLP does, it's a study of understanding what that is by bringing it into consciousness. And so an example of this is most people think, and maybe you do too, that you just have random thoughts and that you just have random feelings. Like, you might be walking down the street and suddenly you feel not so good about yourself, or maybe you feel good about yourself and you're just kind of like, well, wow, where did that come from? We tend to think this comes just kind of out of nowhere, because most of that mechanism and that process that triggered that feeling was unconscious. What became conscious was the feeling. So we go, oh, I'm having a feeling. That was random. Or oh, I'm having a thought. But typically what happens is that somehow outside information triggers a free association that goes through your neurology and then triggers a thought or triggers a feeling. It doesn't always have to be bad. It doesn't always have to be good. It could just be anything. And that feels random. And then we also have beliefs. We have these beliefs that are in our neurology. We tend to think that beliefs are just in our head, but no, our beliefs are everywhere inside of our bodies through our neurology. It's in our nerves. And so when we can bring the substance, the raw data, the material that is creating that belief into consciousness, now we have a chance at changing it, which then brings me to, why is this important anyway? Why would you want to understand what's in your neurology? Why would you want to know what is in your unconscious? The quick and easy answer to that is how you represent reality, which is inside of you, is your reality. It's not just a representation. Yes, it is a representation, because There might be this objective reality, but you will never know it. All you will ever know is based on the information that comes in through your neurology, and you live from the representation you have inside of you about that reality. So when you bring that into consciousness and you understand it, you can change it. Now, if you think about that for a moment, that quite possibly could be the most amazing thing that you've ever heard. And maybe you don't even realize that. But after studying this for years and practicing it for years, I finally am just coming to that realization. Actually, I've been coming to that realization for a long time. I've just been getting it in pieces and chunks. But when you think about, to really understand how your neurology works, how you've unconsciously and haphazardly organized the information in your neurology, and this is actually making up your reality, and you can know this stuff, you can bring this into consciousness and map and model the organization of this, that is extraordinary. That changes everything. Because when you change that organization, when you change that structure, you literally change your sense of reality. And isn't that what we all want to be able to do? Isn't that the ultimate control? If you're watching this video, chances are you're involved in personal development in some way. And that's really your goal, is to be able to change yourself. And then some of you are more focused on the external, like you want to be successful, you want to make money, you want to do all these things. Well, that's the reality that you're living in. And the reality that you're living in is based on the representation you make of that reality. So if you had the power to change it, what could you not do? Now, here's the other thing too. There's a bit of a disclaimer. You got to be careful. And you probably heard not so great things about NLP. You probably heard some horror stories or stories about people using it to become more arrogant and take advantage of people. And here's what I have to say about that. It's all true. I don't know if it's all true because I don't know what you've heard, but a lot of it is true. And that is the double-edged sword of something that is extremely powerful, because when you really understand this, you can alter your reality to the degree that you become disconnected and your reality is inaccurate, though you believe it. And that could be a dangerous place to be. You want to make your reality at least accurate enough so that it lines up with the reality that we can all observe. That's kind of where the science of this comes in. But it's not a science. Don't get me started on that. But NLP is not a science. Therefore, it's not a pseudoscience. That's a different subject. What you can do, though, is you can still be rooted in the reality that we can observe, which will keep you grounded. And you can make these changes where you change, therefore your reality changes. So both you can become the person who you want to be and live and exist in the reality that you want to live in and exist in. Now, I can't think of anything else that is more profound than that. I can't think of anything else, any other knowledge that I would rather have than that. Now, you might be different. You might have different things that you're focused on. But if you really think about what I just said and what I've said in this entire video, and you go really deep with it and you think, if you had that ability, I mean, it's almost like magic. And that's where NLP and magic, where they talk about magic and NLP. It looks like magic, but there is a way to do this. And that's what the study of NLP is. That's what the technology of NLP is. So this video has been about the neurological aspect of NLP. Now, I don't know if I cleared things up well enough for you to explain this to your friends, but hopefully you've got a better, clearer understanding about what the N in NLP is, about what the neurological part about this is. And this is just the beginning, because there's also an L and there's a P, and they all matter greatly. But first, think about all that I said to summarize that you're taking all of this information in through your 5 senses. It's stored in your neurology. There is an organization to it. It's happening so fast that you can't be consciously aware of it all. It sort of just kind of gets thrown in and organized. There is an organization to it, but it's mostly haphazard. Therefore, there is much change. There's much work to be done in this area to tune up, to improve, it's never going to be perfect, but to get it to line up to what it is that you want and what you find useful in your life. And this is all possible using NLP. And there is a particular model that I focus on primarily because I feel like this model, not only is it the most powerful model in NLP, but it really brings together this organization. It really brings together all that I'm talking about. And that is the self-concept model created by Steve Andreas. Steve Andreas was my mentor, and I learned this model after years of NLP study, and it just blew the lid off of everything. And I understood NLP in a way that I had never understood it before. And I also understood how to organize and get precise, predictable results. And if you'd like to know more about this model, if you go to the link down below in the description, click on that link and you can learn more. And there's actually some other goodies there for you. And depending on when you watch this video, sometimes we do free classes, sometimes we're not doing free classes, but it's worth checking out and seeing if we are, because you definitely want to get in on that. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe by clicking the subscribe button right down here. Click the bell as well, so you'll be notified when I put new videos out. And last but not least, if you can think of a friend or a family member who you think would benefit from this video, make sure you share it with them. Take care.